Welcome to the Muthership Masterclass Express. Today we're going to talk about how to film with your iPhone. Now the reason I thought I would share this is because I have a lot of experience in production, obviously, but recently have started shooting with my phone and I have learned a lot of things along the way. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to share some of these little tips and tricks that I've learned through my years of experience as well as more recently in shooting with my phone. So the first thing that needs to be considered when you're filming with your phone is what is the use of the video? Should you film it horizontally or vertically? Now, so many people now, the minute they film, they're always holding the phone like this. And think about all those things that you see on the news with the news clips when people send in their footage. And then you're watching a big widescreen TV and the thing is just a little slice in the middle of the screen with these big black edges on the sides or blurry something else on the sides. So think about what the possible use of the video is going to be. I tend to film everything this way now because it goes to YouTube, it goes to Facebook, and a lot of times people are on their computers viewing those things, not just on Instagram on their phone. And if they are on their phone viewing it, they simply have to turn the phone and they can view it full screen. So that's the first thing to consider. Next thing to consider is what is the angle of your camera? So I'm going to throw myself way under the bus and share with you that one thing you don't want to do when you're on these Zoom calls or filming with your iPhone is you don't want to be filming at this angle where we all have to stare up your nostrils or up your neck, which in my case, I want to avoid that, okay? We don't want that. Nobody needs to see that. So that's one thing. And you don't want to have the camera too high, but people tend to film even when they think they're holding the camera out in front of them. They tend to be holding it much lower than they realize. So take a minute to note your camera angle and be sure that you're at more of an eye level with your audience. The next thing to consider is your background and your lighting. First off, I chose this background just because it happens to be the office I'm working in here, my home office. And so I have a little piece of artwork, but I try to get some depth into the scene so that I'm not just plastered up against a wall. So I'm going to move around and show you a few things here. A lot of people like to plaster themselves right up against a wall, and then, basically you're just staring at whatever's behind their head. The other thing that is a mistake is to put yourself in front of a window, because you see what happens right away. The camera is adjusting for the light outside and taking the light right off my face. So that's not ideal. You want to have some windows in the distance so that they're shining some light on your face. Not too much in my case, but some light on the face is good. In terms of distance from the camera, this is very important because if you move your camera more than an arm's length away, your audio is going to be very far and you're going to have to shout to be heard by the camera, or it's going to sound very low. In my case, because I'm in production, I purchased a little microphone for myself and I feed it down my shirt and it attaches to my phone camera. And therefore, whenever I walk or I back up, my voice does not travel. As you can see, the sound quality of my voice is not changing when I get further away from the camera. Obviously, not everyone's going to have a microphone, and even if you think, I think I'll order a microphone, they're back ordered until like mid-May. Can't even get a microphone right now because I tried to get one for someone else. The final thing for consideration is how to keep the camera steady, because the last thing you want is you're holding the camera and you think you're steady as heck, but this is what's going on, and everyone's going to get seasick. So what I recommend is some type of a tripod. Now granted, we don't all have tripods hanging around, especially iPhone tripods. But what I will tell you is I know many people probably own one of these. This is the old selfie stick, the tourist selfie stick. And you can actually take this and make a tripod out of it very simply. First of all, it holds the phone. Secondly, you can find anything in your house. This happens to be a pencil container and I stuck some bubble wrap in it. And you can just stick this thing right in there and you can make yourself a tripod. So the thing isn't going to move when you're recording, and it's going to be steady, and it's going to look very professional and nice. The other thing about the selfie stick, which I was very excited to discover, is that, let's take the phone off, this top piece unwinds and comes right off. And look what we have here. An iPhone holder that attaches to a tripod. So if you happen to have a tripod in your closet that might be laying around from someday when you wanted to be a photographer, you can just attach this thing to the tripod and you have yourself an iPhone tripod. So keeping the iPhone steady while you're recording is very important, and adjusting the angle at which you're shooting is very easily done with a tripod. We could get on to an editing class next, but that's way more involved, because the next thing you'll need to do is make your videos more concise so that you're not boring your audience to death. So, which I'm probably doing right now. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed it, obviously subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.